Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for taking some time to join us today. We are going to give it another minute or two for everybody else to get logged in. But for those of you who are with us a little bit ahead of time, we really appreciate you. You all are the Gold Star students in my book, and thanks so much for taking some time for us. We'll go ahead and start off with a couple introductions. I am Dan Coakley. I'm the partner activation leader here at MGT. And so, especially as you're getting started with us, you can kind of think of me as your MGT fixer. If you're ever not sure who to reach out to, you have a whole team that's here to support you. But I am part of that team, always happy to help. And please feel welcome to reach out. And then, Allie, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself too.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Thank you for taking some time with us today to learn more about MGT. And we're excited to get you up and running with us. My name's Ali Essian. I'm the head of our partnership success team, and I look forward to working with you all. Thank you. Thanks, Dan.
Absolutely. So, the game plan today is pretty straightforward. We'll talk a little bit about MGT, who we are, what we do. We'll share some information about policy features that are just really good to know. We'll share some appetite information. We'll run you through a quick walkthrough of our platform. Then we'll share some recent wins and some support contacts too. So if you do have any questions, you'll know who to reach out to. Speaking of questions, all along the way, if you do have any questions, please use the chat feature. It should be right around the bottom middle of your screen. It looks like a little text box and says chat underneath it, obviously. So you can use that to ask any questions, and we can answer those as we go along. And then after we kind of wrap up the presentation, we'll pause again to take any questions before we wrap up for the day. So while we just get started, we always like to kind of start with a question. And one question I have for all of you is, are you beach people or mountain people? We got a question from David. Do we need to sign in? No, as long as you're in the meeting, we're good to go. If you do want to follow along on your screen, though, you can absolutely feel welcome to do that too. Just go to mgtinsurance.app to sign in. That's .app. The weather's starting to get nice for me here in Virginia, which always has me thinking about outdoor activities. And yeah, I think we've got some folks coming through. Looks like we've got some boathers, which I love to see. Got a beach guy. Allie, where do you fall in that?
I definitely am a beach girl. I'm based in California, but I also do live close to the mountains and hike I'm near Yosemite and the Sequoias, so I do frequent those areas quite a bit. But the water is where my heart is.
Oh my gosh, if I live near the Sequoias, you might not see me. I would just always be out there. That looks like a magical part of the world. I'm lucky to be here in Virginia. We're about 2 hours from both the beach and the mountains, so I'm a big fan of either. Although, if I had to pick just one, I'd probably fall on the mountain side of things. Whichever side of the divide you yourself fall on, I know we all wish that we had more time to get out there and do the things that we love to do outside of the office. That is what MGT exists to do, is give you that time back in your day so you can do all those other great things in life. So let me go ahead. I'll share my screen and then we'll get things kicked off. So MGT, we are the world's first neo insurer. And you might be asking yourself, what does that mean? Very reasonable question because that's just how things are when you're the first to do something. I would say you can kind of think of us in the context of the larger industry. You've got your insurance companies. Many of these carriers have existed for, decades, sometimes even hundreds of years, even 400 years if you start to look across the ocean. And in that time, they've done amazing things. They've helped people protect their livelihoods and their investments. They've helped people feel confident taking risks, starting businesses. But as they've grown, as they've developed, top of mind has not always been making things fast and easy and delivering a delightful experience. Over the last several years, you've had insurtechs starting to join the space. Generally, these are fronting companies, MGAs, MGUs, wholesalers. There's a lot of different kind of arrangements or styles that they can take. But the really kind of long and short of things is they take a layer of technology, put it on top of that legacy experience, and they can deliver, much improved user experience, but because they're not really controlling the entire process, there's just a lot that they don't really have the total influence over. That's where MGT stands apart and why we are the world's first neo insurer. We're a carrier that is built on a foundation of modern technology that lets us make these things easier for you, easier for our policyholders, and ultimately too just lets you deliver a better experience to those policyholders. Most of them are not thinking like, oh boy, I've got an MGT policy. It's really you, the agent that they're working with. And it makes you look like a rock star when you can make things easy for them. A couple quick points on MGT. As I mentioned, we are the carrier. We're rated A minus by AM Best, so we've got excellent financial strength. All of our policies are written on ISO Accord forms, or sorry, ISO BOP forms. Those are the most legally tested forms on the market. Anytime you're taking a designation class or a licensing class and they're referencing policy language, almost every time it's going to be the ISO policy language that they're referencing. So between those 2 points, even though we don't have the TV commercials just yet, you can feel comfortable and confident as you write business with us. If there ever is a claim, it'll play out the way you expect it to, and we'll be there to stand behind that risk. As you work with us, you'll also find that we have a very streamlined 100% digital experience built. There are no accords, no supplementals, and no 3 week long back and forths with underwriters to firm things up. Our platform delivers bindable quotes. Over 80% of the time, it's able to do that in 3 minutes or less. All quotes are fully bindable as long as the information in that quote is accurate and complete. We've got a wide footprint. We're admitted in 44 states plus Washington, D.C., and growing. We should have some more exciting news to share there before too long. Couple quick numbers here, and these are on your screen, so I won't go through every single one here, but the one that I do always like to pause and highlight is that in the fourth quarter last year, which is really just the last quarter we could kind of take complete measurements for since we're still working our way through Q1 2026, we had 100% uptime in our platform. That means every single time somebody needed a quote, needed to bind, needed to reference their policy documents, needed to make a midterm adjustment. Our platform was live, online, fully functional, not slowing things down and causing more friction and disrupting relationships. Now, as far as the appetite goes, we are writing over 300 classes of business with a focus on small businesses. You can find we'll be a great market for risks like professional and medical offices. We do a lot of retail stores, wholesalers and distributors, barbershops, beauty parlors, nail salons, artisan contractors, restaurants, and more. I would say keep trying, and I'll show you some cool tools here shortly to help find the bullseyes in that appetite. For us, small business means up to 3 million in revenue for most risks, up to 5 million revenue for professional and medical offices. We'll write businesses with up to 30,000 square feet. We could write up to 2 million total insured value and property with up to 4 locations per policy. So technically that gives you up to 8 million in property limits, which is a lot more flexibility than I think you'll find in the small business market. We are able to write new ventures. We're able to write businesses with coverage lapses, claims history, no prior coverage. Um, So don't think of us only for, the most nice, neat, perfect risks that will ever hit an underwriter's desk. Definitely send those our way too, but don't limit yourself either. Now, we do have a lot of great coverage available. I actually get caught doing this all the time where I'll say all we write is a BOP or we just write a BOP. But the reality is we do a lot more than just a BOP. We really give you the ability to tailor that coverage to your client and their specific needs. A lot of good stuff here. And again, we won't go through line by line, but I do like to highlight we have professional liability and hired non-owned auto available for a lot of different classes. We have cyber liability available, which is always of interest and always a good topic of conversation. Workers' comp stopgap coverage is available in monopolistic states, and mine subsidence coverage also available in some states. We do have some optional coverages and sublimits as well. And the key point I'll hit on for this slide is that as you're working through our quoting platform, when you're adding these coverages and weighing your options, it's only going to show you bindable options for sublimits and deductibles. So you can always feel good that you can stand behind those quotes that you're sending out from our platform. We do also have some coverage enhancements for restaurants, and I strongly recommend reviewing these with any applicants that you're working with because these can be very, very important. They've got higher contamination and spoilage limits available. If they're doing any valet operations, they can get coverage for damage to customers' autos. Higher non-owned auto is available as long as they're not doing any self-delivery. If they're just delivering through third-party apps, that's totally fine. And then we've got a few other coverages here, definitely worth digging into. We also have some coverages specifically for artisan contractors. I think the one that gets the most interest is the tools and equipment coverage. It can be a really valuable item to have. We also have contractors installation coverage to protect any materials at job sites. And so now I know what you're thinking. Wow, this sounds amazing. How's it actually work? So let's go ahead and dig in and see. So before we jump into the platform, I always like to show this off too, because this is just a really helpful feature. And I think it also kind of demonstrates very quickly how we're a little bit different. If you go to our website, mgtinsurance.com, click into the BOP Appetite page. From here, you'll be able to see a list or really a map of all the states that we are admitted to do business in and states that are coming soon. And then you can keep scrolling down and you can get to Amy, who's our AI appetite assistant. Amy is available for you 24/7, 365, which I do log in sometimes in the morning and see quotes that came through and sometimes even bound at 3 a.m., which is really amazing to see. But you might have a hard time getting answers to appetite questions at that hour unless you know about this feature. Amy is great. You can ask, can you write a flooring contractor in, let's say, Houston? And Amy will be smart enough to kind of parse through that. It doesn't have to be the specific class code language. She knows that Houston is more than likely the Houston that's in Texas. She can give you some quick guidance for the class code, some of the appetite considerations, and really just gets you set up for success. And you don't even have to log in to get to this feature. While we're here, I'll also share in the bottom right-hand corner, we've got a little chat box. You'll see this all along the way as we go through this demo today. And you can use this chat box to instant message back and forth with our support team. This is going to be a really helpful tool to have as well. And we'll share at the end of this our support team's emails, their phone contact. And so between that, you've got three options to get in touch, however you like to work. We're here to work with you. The next step is to get signed in. To do that, you would just click sign in here in the upper right-hand part of the screen, and then that'll take you into the platform. From here, you'll see a few different options. You can start a quote. You can go to the user management page and add more users to your team. And then you can click into the appetite guide to go back to that appetite page we just looked at. Along the sidebar, you've got options for home. That's where we're at right now. Quotes, policies, user management, all pretty self-explanatory here. And then let's go ahead and get a quote started. Now, I've been doing demos like this for a long time. There's one golden rule I think anybody follows who does a lot of this, which is go in with a plan and then stick to the plan. But I actually think that the coolest way to show off what we're doing and how it's different is to go a little bit off script here. And so I'm going to open up the floor. If anybody wants to share in chat, maybe you have a favorite restaurant that you like to go to, favorite barber that you visit, or nail salon, maybe a realtor or an accountant who sends you leads. Share that in the chat, and we can go ahead and use that as just kind of a quick demo so you can really see this tech in action.
Dan, really fast. Kelly asked, "Where do you store the OM rollover quotes?" That's a separate conversation. I can get with you after this call, Kelly.
Yep. The short answer is those should be in your quotes page. But if you're not seeing that, we'll follow up on that and make sure everything's ready for you. But great question, Kelly. So I went to a great little place here in Richmond for lunch today, and so let's go ahead and use that. This is Abuelita's, which if you are ever in the area, I absolutely recommend you stop by because it is just phenomenal food, unpretentiously served and just full of soul. And how can you not love that? So let's go ahead and see what we can do for our friends at Abuelita's. Now, what's happening right now as we look at this page is this is where the MGT tech is really getting lined up. We are contacting dozens of different data vendors. We're finding somewhere around 3,900 different data points on this business, and we're using that to pre-fill a lot of the questions in the application. You can see here, it actually found that that's a casual or fine dining restaurant, dead on for the class code. And then let's select continue. And so again, it's going to kind of do that process of like contacting data vendors, combing through the answers, getting everything lined up for us. This might take just a moment, but it's usually pretty fast. I would say if you, the agent on the other side of the screen, are doing this, this might be where you check your inbox for a second, make sure you didn't get any urgent requests that come through. And
We
we'll
are in the demo
also,
environment.
yes, I'll also note I am in our demo system, which is kind of using like the backup servers. When you are going through this on your side of the screen, should be a good bit faster. And so it's going to find a ton of information for us. And as we go through this, one thing that I think is worth keeping in mind, the data vendors that we're using, we're really focusing on ones where we are 90% confident or higher the information they're returning to us is accurate. But nobody knows that risk better than you, the person who's actually working directly with that business owner. And so I like to say trust but verify as you go through. If you ever need to make a correction or an update, I'll show you how to do that. We'll skip through these first couple questions, and then you can see that it's starting to answer some of these for us. Now, I know actually that Abuelitas, they do serve margaritas. It's not a huge part of what they do. Maybe 10%. I think that sounds accurate. And so again, trust but verify, and it's that easy to make any updates. You're not locked in to what the algorithms say. So it's finding some more details, year that was established, entity type, number of employees, all that's looking good. It knows it's not a home-based business. We'll click continue. Let's go ahead and enter in their sales. A lot of times it'll actually find this as well. So we'll enter in that and then click continue. Now we're in the business locations section. And in this section, we can add some additional insureds if we need to. So you'll see it says fetching data. And that again is really just kind of that same process of going through all the different data sources that we've got and kind of finding which ones apply to what it's looking for right now and getting everything in place. And so we'll answer this question quickly. If we need to add any additional insureds, all we have to do is click the button to do that, select the type of additional insured, enter in their information, answer a couple questions, and then click continue. And if you accidentally click that, need to remove some additional insureds, just click the little trash icon here. That'll take it off, and then we can roll right on through. Now, the next section is adding building limits. And again, more kind of data sources coming into play here. Um, and so in just a moment, this should populate for us. This is actually, I think, one of the coolest pages here. What's actually happening behind the scenes, it's able to find the square footage of this location. It can look it up in Google Maps, and then it can use that to trace out its footprint and then calculate the square footage based off that. It also can find the construction type, and both of these to me look right on accurate. So we'll go through with that. It comes in at 100,000 business personal property. Let's say we needed to increase it to 125. All we have to do is that, and then we'll click continue. In this page, if we needed to add any locations, we could do that. In this case, we'll just roll through right on. We will keep the TRIA coverage on there and then click continue. And that's all it took to get this quoted. It's going to start putting that together, that quote for us. And then in this next page, we'll be able to edit any of the sublimits and deductibles. So we got pricing back just that fast. From here, I do always recommend taking a second look at the effective date. Essentially, what we do is we quote it out as far in the future as this quote will be eligible. So you may need to update it from here. And so to do that, it's just as easy as clicking on here and then selecting the right date from the calendar. Let's go ahead and say it'll be the 7th. And then that's going to update for us in just a moment. The rest of this page, I know everybody on this meeting has seen pages that look very, very similar to this a million times. We won't spend too much time here. I will just highlight again that as you're setting all these deductibles and sublimits, it will only show you bindable options when you click through here. So you can make any of those additions or adjustments that you need to make. I also like to recommend scrolling down to the bottom, making sure that you review all these optional coverages as well. And say for this risk, we wanted to add higher non-owned auto coverage. All we have to do is check the box here. You'll see the premium will update for us. And then we can make multiple changes to this. So maybe we want to also add equipment breakdown coverage. We can do that. You'll see this premium will update for us. So this kind of helps weigh the differences between some of the different coverage options you might be discussing. And then once you've got everything dialed in and it's just the way you like it, click update quote. And that's going to update the quote letter for us to include all those coverages and limit adjustments that we made. From here, you can click download quote to download a quote letter that you could save in your records or send over to the applicant. You can click edit quote to go back and make any adjustments. And quick note here, you might see down at the bottom, we've got a jump to section button. You can use this to kind of skip back and forth through the quote. But if you use this jump to section button after the quote's completed, the version you'll see is not editable. It's really just to review. So make sure you go in and click edit quote if you want to make changes to it. We'll click continue to bind. And then in this next page, you could put in the policyholder's contact information. We'll send them a quote letter that they can review and a link to finalize the policy. All they have to do is make payment, and I'll show you what that process looks like next. So let's go ahead. We'll enter in my name here. Click confirm and send. And so in just a minute, I should have that email in my inbox. It's really very fast. In this page, you'll be able to keep track of what's happening with this bind request. What really needs to happen, and we'll walk through this in just a moment, the applicant needs to e-sign, make payment, and that's it. Once they do that, then we'll bind and issue the policy. So we have sent that email over. I actually have it in my inbox right now. It just hit. But say you're working with somebody who's maybe not the most, technologically savvy business owner out there, no problem. If they need an extra hand or if they just didn't receive that email, you can click copy share link right here in the upper right hand part of the page, and that will copy the link to finalize the policy. So I'll open up a new tab, paste that in. And now you can see here to finalize the policy, all we have to do is make payment. We support annual, quarterly, or monthly. And however you choose to pay, it'll update with what's due today. And you can see the payment schedule. So it's very transparent. We don't have any additional charge for quarterly or annual. Technically, we just have a discount, or sorry, quarterly or monthly. We just have a discount for annual payments. So we'll click continue here. And then the e-signing process is very straightforward and easy. This replaces all that effort of I need to print something out, scan it, sign it, scan it, email to you. You print it out, sign it, scan it, email it back to me, and then I'll print that out, scan it, email it over to the insurance company. Instead, all you have to do is give it the legal squiggle, accept that, give it the initials, accept that, agree to e-signing, and then you can click start signing to go through line by line and review each signature page, or you can click sign all to knock them all out in one shot. All those signed documents then get saved into the platform so you and the policyholder can access those. You'll also receive an email to let you know that they've been signed. I already have that email in my inbox as well. Next step is making payment. And again, you can see it's very transparent here. We've got a transaction fee, which can vary between the card, the ACH, even the payment frequency. But whatever it works out to be, it'll tell you right on this page. And then from here, it's pretty straightforward. We'll just enter in the contact information and billing information and click complete transaction. And now we've got an invoice number. Again, we'll let you know by email once the transaction's complete. And so everybody's going to be very in touch with what's happening. I've actually already got the invoice in my inbox as well. If we go back to that last page, you'll see these check boxes updating for us as we go through the process. So this might save you a little bit of back and forth with the applicant as well. Now, from here, within about 90 seconds, you'll actually have all the policy documents available to you as well. You'll get an email to confirm everything went through. We've all got receipts. We can file those away for our records. The policyholder will receive an email with their documents too. That way they've got those if they need to reference those. And then, I think it always takes a little bit longer when I'm narrating along the way. Luckily for you all, that feature is not built into the platform. But I think this still took us maybe 10 minutes, start to finish. So a couple recent wins that I like to share because these really do illustrate, I think, the kinds of accounts that tend to fit really well with us. Um, We had a electronics retailer in Texas. This was actually a cell phone store in the Houston area, which they can be really hard pressed to find great coverage there. They received a non-renewal from an incumbent. There's just a lot of market turmoil. And they were able to replace that non-renewal with an admitted ISO form BOP in 9 minutes. We had a convenience store in South Carolina, 1 mil, 2 mil GL limits, 75,000 in BPP, came into about 3,500 in premium. That took them 6 minutes to complete the quote. We had a seafood restaurant in Georgia. I like to highlight this one too because it kind of shows that, yes, we will knock out those kind of quick and easy, under 100K property limits, 1 mil, 2 mil GLs all day long. We can handle some of the bigger stuff you might see as well. In this case, they had the 1 mil, 2 mil GL. They had liquor liability. They had $1 million in property coverage. Came into just under 15,000 in an annual premium for them. And they were really able to dial in those coverages too. They had a lot of optional coverages added. They really tailored the sublimits and created something that felt like a very bespoke option for that policyholder and really fit the needs of their business. And now, last but maybe most important page in this entire meeting is your support team. So I'll leave this open for just a minute or two in case you want to copy any of this information down. Kelly had a great question as well. Higher GL or excess max limit. We are able to do for some accounts 2 million, 4 million GL limits. We don't have an umbrella or excess product available just yet, but I would say stay tuned. I would not be surprised if that story changes before the end of the year. So that was a great question. If anybody else has any questions, please feel welcome to ask those in the chat, and we'll make sure to get answers for you. Well, one question, let's see, that just came in is most of the time the customer shares credit or debit card details with us, make the down payment, set up auto pay, etc. So great question, Van Deep. There is something you can do to help out with them. Now, the process we just went through is sending the payment link, e-signing the documents, and then putting in the payment information. You could certainly send the payment or send that kind of finalization link over to the applicant, have them do the e-signing, and then you can pick it up where they left off. Once they've completed the e-signing, you can go in there and finalize it and put in their credit or debit details. Our team is working on a solution. We call it broker pay, where you'll be able to actually really kind of hold their hand and take them through the entire process. So what I just shared, that's a little bit of a workaround, and we will in the next, few weeks have a solution that I think will feel a little bit more organized when you get to that part. Kelly had a great question. Did you say this was being recorded? Yes, this is being recorded, and we will share this in our YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button at the bottom of the page. And we'll also send out a follow-up email to this where you'll be able to see that recording and you'll have a link to it. Let's see. Great question that just came in. Any market for taxi services, security guard, or trucker car driving schools? Unfortunately, I'm not going to be a lot of help with those. Those are all going to be out of appetite for us. But keep them coming. If you keep asking questions like that, I know that we will find that bullseye before too long. Oh, now when are we opening in California? That's a great question. I would say that we should have some good news to share there within the next few weeks. Lori had a great question too. Market for contractors, GL. Now, technically, we are writing a BOP for contractors. So they have to have at least 10,000 in business personal property to qualify. We don't do just standalone GL, at least not yet. That might change throughout this year as well. But we do write, what is it, Allie, over 30 classes of artisan contractor in our BOP program.
Right.
So definitely keep us in mind for contractors. So those are a lot of great questions. One question that I often get is what does MGT stand for? Today I hope MGT stands for Mighty Good Time, because that's what I've had with you, and I hope you've had one as well. Thanks so much for taking some time to join us. We're really excited to work with you, and I look forward to seeing what we can do together. If you have any questions or need any assistance along the way, please don't hesitate to reach out. You have a whole team that's here to support you.
Thank you all.
Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.